interview that one of our reporters here at 13 News Now, Leila Cox, was able to do with Jen Kiggans, the 2nd District representative right here in Virginia. This comes on the heels of the introduction of a comprehensive veterans legislative package to strengthen care benefits and support services. And Leila may have asked about a few other major topics as well. Let's go to that interview right now.
Congresswoman Kiggans, to start off, I know you've served in the Navy and represent obviously one of the country's largest military communities here in Hampton Roads. What do you believe? First of all, talk to me about, deciding to co-sponsor this Take Care of America's Veterans Act. And what do you believe? I know it's a pretty lengthy legislation on all different fronts, but what do you believe will be the biggest day-to-day difference Hampton Roads veterans will actually notice if this legislation is passed into law?
Yeah, as a Navy veteran and as a spouse of a Navy veteran, the daughter of a veteran, and the mom of future veterans, the work that I do on the Veteran Affairs Committee is so important. And what this bill is a combination of 60 bipartisan bills that we have put together of things that our veterans have asked for. I have sat on the VA committee now for 4 years, and I chair the oversight committee. So to be able to really understand the issues that are important to the veterans of my congressional district, the 2nd District of Virginia, but veterans really across the country. We have so many that live in Hampton Roads, so it's easy to hear from them. They are very vocal, and I listen to them. And so what this bill does is several different things. It implements the Major Richard Starr Act, which is something that veterans have been asking for a while, so they're able to receive their disability payments and their retirement pay at the same time. It makes sure that the Love Lives On Act is also put into law, and this allows survivors of people who are deceased to be able to continue to get their survivor benefits, but also to remarry. It expands mental health care, which is really important to me. It takes care of our caregivers, which is also important to me as a geriatric nurse practitioner. It implements a bill and legislation that we had sponsored that actually puts state veteran homes, long-term care facilities, to have a seat at the VA geriatrics board. So it implements some of that. Expands access to care for people who are living in rural communities through that community care program. So really very comprehensive. Expands survivor benefits. People who are severely disabled, expands their benefits. So really expanding veteran benefits is what this bill does in a lot of different ways, but 60 bipartisan bills that we have put together that have great support on both sides of the aisle to take care of the veterans, not just in the 2nd District, but throughout the country.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman. If we could discuss a little bit about implementation and accountability of this bill, if it were to actually, go into law. Some people say large reform packages often sound promising on paper, but what benchmarks should veterans use over the next few years to judge whether this legislation is actually improving access to care and reducing wait times? I know, you've been very vocal about this as it pertains to making sure that our VA centers and hospitals are, fully staffed and have the means to provide care, not only just to Hampton Roads veterans, but their families as well. So what should veterans see, hopefully, if this expansive comprehension package becomes true?
Yeah, I ask veterans to keep tabs. Their VA benefits, for those who have existing VA benefits, should not change. They will not change. That is codified in this legislation. I ask them to reach out to our office, as they always do. Veterans are very good about communicating with our office. We have several staff members who work specifically on VA issues, so let us know if you're having any challenges. But this bill is meant to ease that burden, to expand those services, to make sure you can get care in multiple places, that the wait times are reduced, that your benefit package the monetary value is increased. So watch for those things. If you see any decrease or any impact that's not in a positive direction, please reach out to our office, because this comprehensive bill of 60 bipartisan pieces of legislation is meant to expand veteran benefits going forward.
Thank you, Congresswoman. And I know you said this package combines more than 60 bipartisan veterans bills into one piece of legislation. Was there one particular provision you personally fought hardest to include, and why it was especially important to you? I know you have, several personal connections, of course, to this work.
Yeah, there was a few things that were important to me in this legislation. I met with surviving spouses in the district who asked that we co-sponsor the Love Lives On bill. And what this bill does is allow those survivors to continue to get their survivor benefits, but also be able to remarry. We saw a lot of them just postponing marriage and for future relationships because they were worried about losing their benefits, and that wasn't right. So we co-sponsored that legislation early on. I know the Major Richard Starr Act, which again allows veterans to receive their retirement pay and their disability pay, was also an issue that was important to the people that I represent, to our veteran population. So those were two pieces. There's a big piece in there for caregivers and caregiver support that extends 6 months after the passing of the veteran. It's important to me as a nurse practitioner. I understand caregiver challenges specifically, and I want to take care of that group of people who is taking care of our veterans. So expanding that and giving them a few more months of benefits while they're kind of wrapping up going through that difficult time. Those are the things that were most important to me.
Thank you, Congresswoman. And the last question on this note about the Take Care of America's Veterans Act package. What is the timeline for this? What can our viewers look to when a vote will be made on this, and how discussions will continue on in order to hopefully pass this into law?
Yeah. So we were hoping to pass the bill off the House floor this week. We ran into a few procedural challenges, and the vote on the bill has been pushed to next week. So we are hoping to see a vote on the bill next week before Congress has a brief recess for the 4th of July holiday.
Okay, great. Now I have two questions pertaining to, before I go into the other two topics, is there anything else pertaining to this legislative package that you would like to, if you could speak directly to veterans right now about the groundwork that you've been fighting for, for years now. And I think it's remarkable to see that there's 60 bipartisan veteran bills just into one package. What would your message be to our Hampton Roads veterans, and of course our veterans across the nation, especially as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of America?
Yeah, my message to veterans, both in Hampton Roads and across the country, is first of all, thank you for your service to our great nation. As a veteran, as a spouse of a veteran, the mom of future veterans, the daughter of a veteran, I understand these issues very intimately, and I hear you. And the work that I've been able to do for 4 years now on the Veteran Affairs Committee has been very important to me personally. And we have heard you, and we have worked very hard across the aisle and taken these 60 bipartisan bills and put them in a package that will hopefully become law very soon. So just know that I am one of your biggest advocates here in Washington. I listen to your concerns. Please reach out to our office if there's anything that we can improve upon. That is one of the reasons why I run for Congress, to be able to be a voice for our veterans and a voice for the people of the 2nd Congressional District.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Now on to the topic about the delay in the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. We saw President Trump delayed that signing. Given the housing affordability challenges many families, of course, in Hampton Roads are facing, do you support the delay of the housing bill, and would you have preferred for it to be signed immediately?
Yeah, so, we passed that bill on Monday this week in the House of Representatives, this housing bill that did so much for affordable housing. It expanded grant programs for affordable housing. It helped with easing the permitting burden, the red tape burden that some of our builders and developers have complained about, which adds to the cost of housing. It incentivizes modular builds. It incentivizes people to build housing out of existing current abandoned structures. So there's a lot of really good nuanced things in this federal bill to make housing more affordable. We passed it off the House floor on Monday. The Senate passed it. We were really looking forward to having the president sign it into law. But as you know, and has been in the news, the Save America Act has also been something that this administration has prioritized. We passed the Save America Act out of the House of Representatives. That piece of legislation also very, very important. Free and fair elections, election integrity is a cornerstone of our democracy. So I can understand the frustration with wanting to have the Save America Act passed. I, too, would like to have that bill passed. I think proof of ID, proof of citizenship are really no-brainers for what we should do to make our elections secure and just provide that reassurance to Americans that we care about election integrity. So there's a level of frustration with the Senate not being able to pass the Save America Act. I know that the Speaker has sent our housing bill, to the White House. So even if the president does not sign, it's now on a 10-day clock where it will become law without his signature and without his veto, which I do not believe he would do. This bill is important. We need these measures in place because housing is a very important and real issue, especially in Virginia and especially in Hampton Roads, where we don't have enough housing. We don't have enough housing for our military, for all the businesses that have come to Virginia, especially over the past 4 years. And we've seen a great rise in our population. So I want to make sure those housing options are available. This bill will become law, but there is a frustration with not being able to pass the Save America Act, which ensures just integrity of our elections.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Kiggans. My one last question for you pertaining to the White House asking Congress to approve additional funding related to military operations involving Iran. I know I've spoken with you on several occasions about your support for the operations in Iran, but given the size of the request and the concerns about deeper U.S. involvement in the region, what questions do you believe Congress, where is your stance in, or do you support the millions of dollars of request for additional funding for this war in Iran?
I support our war fighters every day of the week. As a Navy veteran, Navy spouse, and again now as a Navy mom, I have a vested interest. The people who I represent from our district who serve, who send their families into harm's way. The needs of the military are great right now, especially the needs of the Navy, from more ships, submarines, and aircrafts to our quality of life measures, our housing, our childcare, our healthcare. We did so much work in that space. Right now, we are involved in a conflict with Iran. The purpose of this conflict is to make sure Iran never has a nuclear weapons. This is a country that has been shouting death to America in their streets for decades. So I too am frustrated that with the Straits of Hormuz issue and the gas prices. However, they have come down. The past 2 weeks, we have seen a 70-cent decrease in the cost of gas. And again, not compare it to when Joe Biden and the Biden administration, the rising gas prices that was approaching $5 a gallon. I understand why these gas prices have been temporarily high, but we have to support our war fighters every day of the week. And what I'm concerned the most about, sitting on Armed Services Committee, is we just recently passed the National Defense Authorization Act. And normally we'll see one, maybe two out of our 52 members on that committee. We'll see 1 or 2 Democrats vote against this bipartisan bill. We saw 12 Democrats this time vote against funding and authorizing appropriated money for our military through the NDAA. And in the Senate side, we saw 9, including our Virginia Senator, Tim Kaine, voted against the NDAA in the Armed Services Committee on the Senate side. We should never be voting against resources for our warfighters, for that quality of life money for our military families. You should put politics aside. So shame on the people who vote against that funding, who vote against our military men and women and their families. Our needs are great. We lead the world. We have the greatest military in the world. I can think of no other country better suited to provide that peace through strength, but it's done through deterrence. And that's the strength part. And that strength part, there's a price to pay with that. So that's the cost that I support every day of the week. The resources of our warfighters, I would never leave them where they thought that the government didn't have their backs and didn't support them every day of the week. They have my word that I will always vote for them. I will always vote for their needs and for taking care of their families.
All right, back here in the studio as Leila Cox wraps up her interview with Jen Kiggans, representative from the 2nd District, right here in the Commonwealth.